consignment from Thailand. Yes. Yes. It amazes me.
What post Igbo?
Yes. So Tola, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh. Well, it's good to see you, Bimbo. My name is Tola Teriba, and Bimbo has said it all regarding what we do on Conversation Mondays to Saturdays, except Sundays. Our program is Conversation, Oluyole 98.5 FM, and well, regarding the night post discovery, well, I would say, what a discovery. Night post intercepts cannabis concealed in Lagos consignment from Thailand. And well, Bimbo, see, all the noise we make about cannabis, before we go read that story, Bimbo, all the noise we make about cannabis, sometimes I wonder, cannabis, something very, very common out there on the streets of every major city in Nigeria, even in rural communities.
Yes.
Gone are the days when the young people that take these substances, when they do it in hiding. Now cannabis openly walk to any motor park and then walk across the streets of any major city.
Even some joints, some relaxing joints, yes.
Openly, they are no longer in hiding. Even if and that political rallies, the full glare of security operatives deployed for security purposes at those rallies. You will see them, the followers and the supporters of the politicians, you will see them smoking cannabis openly. So I'm not really impressed when they say that they seized cannabis at the entry points, at the borders, at the airports, anywhere, or at the seaports. It doesn't impress me because we are not doing much internally to get rid of the abuse of this particular substance. And well, cannabis, well, they say it's actually medicinal, but people went abusing it, just like they did with codeine and cough syrups. So, but cannabis has been long time,
and tramadol too.
And the boy has been for us for a very long time.
Yes, there was a state government that wanted to, start planting and commercializing and exporting. Exporting that plant.
We wanted to do that for the right purposes, not for the purpose of abuse.
Yes. But people don't really understand. He wanted to commercialize it and export for, I think, drug manufacture.
So until we do something about what is becoming a new normal, the abuse of cannabis in our society, Igbo memory is no longer a big deal in our society, and the authorities are looking and not really doing anything about that.
Even all those drugs that have come after it, all those colos, all those, they smoke it openly, and nobody is doing anything about it.
Right, the Nigerian Postal Service, my post, has intercepted the consignment containing 7 pouches of cannabis. What post is going on?
Yes, they posted it. They posted it via, I think, maybe some couriers, through some couriers.
7 pouches of cannabis concealed in a duvet cover that arrived in Lagos from Bangkok, Thailand. According to a press statement issued by NIPOS, the illicit shipment was addressed to a recipient in Lagos, while the details of both the sender and receiver have been withheld as investigations continue. The case has been handed over to relevant security agencies for further action. NIPOS described the interception as part of its efforts to strengthen the integrity of its operations and protect the Nigerian public from the dangers of drug trafficking through the postal systems. Well, maybe the Igbo in Thailand, maybe it's superior to what we have here, because I'm wondering why.
Or special.
Because I'm wondering why anyone will go to the trouble of importing Igbo from Thailand when there's plenty of Igbo here in Nigeria.
Yes.
For those who want to smoke it, like I said, it's done openly now.
It is planted. It is being processed.
One process, and then once in a while the NDLEA makes a show where they will go to one farm and then. Well, of course, before they get to the farms, most of the time the owners of the farms would have moved.
Fled, yes.
Fled. They won't be there, so they go set fire to the farms and all that in full glare of television cameras, and that's about that. And that doesn't stop anything. It doesn't stop the intra shipments of Igbo and the internal consumption of Igbo.
Yes, I always ask this question. The NDLA, they will, like you said, claiming that yes, they've done it. Fine, we know they have done it. They've burnt hemp farms. They've done that. They arrested about 2 or 3 people, and they will display them in front of cameras. They don't go to the hinterland, the indigenous area, where yes, you will see yes, people, sometimes criminals, smoking igbo, smoking Indian hemp. There is a place in this Ibadan. If you drive through that place, you just be very careful and watch your eyes as you look, because as you are driving or moving, don't really look by this side, right or left, because they are watching you. They will be hanging some dilapidated houses, you understand? Just be moving, because if you look too much, I don't know what will happen. They are not going there.
All right, to this one now, Bimbo Hambana headline before me. Bimbo, how Buhari's government destroyed economy. And for me, it's not that statement, Bimbo. Well, it is the obvious that they actually didn't do very well with the economy. But it's about who that statement is coming from. Someone that could have done something about it, someone that could have spoken out at that time, someone that could have easily brought down pressure on that government to correct things. He kept silent, and they concurred all through. And he and his colleagues at the time, they all shamelessly said that they do not care if they are called rubber stamp. This is coming from the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara. And I wonder, why is he speaking out now? When people like us, the media, and other people, well, people who love Nigeria, who are speaking out against all these activities and all these atrocities at that time, they called us all sorts of names. They sat in their so-called hallowed chambers, calling us all sorts of names. They said we were rabble rousers. They said even those who went to the streets to protest, they were labeled terrorists. They were some were called people who wanted to commit treason and all that. And every single thing, and this particular thing that is speaking about also passed through the National Assembly, and they did nothing. So I just wonder. So is it that when you are in that office and you see things going on, but because you are a key beneficiary, you keep quiet, and then when the damage has been done, I think you should have kept quiet, Bimbo.
Yes.
Let's see what the details of the story.
The body of the story.
Now, how Buhari's administration destroyed Nigerian economy, that's coming from Honorable Dogara, ex-Speaker of the House of Representatives. And it says ex-President's administration's printing, injection of 227 trillion naira destroyed naira value, all under your watch. Former Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is credited the Chairman, National Credit Guarantee Company, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, has stated that the administration of the late President Muhammadu Buhari destroyed the nation's economy with the injection of 22.7 trillion naira ways and means. Dogara, who spoke in Abuja during the maiden parliamentary lecture with the theme Navigating Tax Reforms in Nigeria, Insights on President Bola Tinubu's Policies, organized by the House of Representatives Press Corps, lamented that some of the foreign loans procured in order to help strengthen the naira could only be sustained by what he called voodoo economics. So it's only magic can help us sustain. And then when he was Speaker of the House of Representatives, the National Assembly kept on approving and defending these borrowings. And then while I'm describing the present government's economic reforms as the lifeblood, here we go again. So when this particular government goes again, it will come back again to castigate them, just as it's castigating the Buhari government now.
Under which is served.
Under which is served. So while describing the present government's economic reforms as the lifeblood of our national aspirations, the fuel for our infrastructure, our education, our healthcare, and our security. Well, you all said the same thing during the Buhari government. Dogara expressed excitement over the revolutionary reform proposals initiated by Tinubu's economic team, which led ultimately to the restructuring of laws, norms, and institutions with a view to create a more just and equitable society. He said by the time President Tinubu took office, the economic debris of the nation had become too conspicuous to be ignored. So it only became conspicuous, something you defended throughout your stay.
Yes, your stay as House of Assembly, House of Rep Speaker.
Because I don't recall Honorable Yakubu Dogara being the controversial House of Representative Speaker that tackled the authorities, that tackled the executive. The last time that happened, if I can recall, was during the Saraki legislature, the Saraki-led legislature. And then, well, many Nigerians saw them as being troublesome that time, not knowing that they were actually the ones doing the right thing. Okay, he said by the time the economic debris of the nation had become too conspicuous to be ignored, 20.7 trillion had been printed and injected into the economy in the name of ways and means, thereby destroying the value of the naira in our pockets. Now, any attempt made by the National Assembly, to which Honorable Yakubu Dogara belonged at that time, to question or tackle the ways and means was at most very, very feeble. And it was as if they only asked questions for the sake of Nigerians, you know, not saying that they did not ask questions. And I also recall that the one man, was it Senator Ndume now, the one man who tried to ask questions about the way things were being run regarding the economy. You remember what happened to him?
Yes.
I think he was also suspended for a while. I'm trying to remember the name of the senator now, whether it was Senator Ndume or something like that. When he tried to ask questions.
Yes, I can't remember. I think it was Ndume, but I'm not too sure. Here, but a senator did that.
His colleagues, it was from another part of the country, his colleagues went right for him, right for his jugular at that time. Now he's saying this. Now he's praising the Tinubu government to high heavens again, typical Nigerian politician. And when Tinubu has gone, whenever Tinubu's tenure winds down, whether he spends 4 years, whether he spends 8 years, he will still come back to say the same horrible things that he's saying about the Buhari government. Come say the same thing now.
Government.
I think he just have held his peace, and they should have declined the invitation to that particular event where he said all this, knowing fully well that he was a part of he himself was a part of the problem.
Maybe he didn't know what he was saying. I think it must be very old now. It must be very old. Maybe he's trying to I don't know.
Well, he's not very old, but maybe the things that happen to old people is already happening
to him. Yes. Now, this one says, still talking about the economy now. The presidency has assured Nigerians that inflation rate in the country was heading towards a single digit and would translate to better living conditions for the masses. And this statement, it has generated reactions and counter-reactions. And, well, Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Tope Fashua, who gave the assurance as guest on a private television station yesterday, also said the drop in the inflation rate has impacted on prices of food items, which were beginning to ease. Oh, of course, beginning to ease. Well, here, yes, according to the Vanguard now here, experts reacting to the inflation projection of a single digit by Fashua. Imagine, experts. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, dismissed the federal government's claim that inflation will soon drop to a single digit, describing it as a false promise aimed at deceiving Nigerians ahead of the next general elections. And, well, according to Osadolo, that is the ruling All Progressives Congress administration, he said, common sense tells us that for an economy to grow, there must be production. Common sense tells us that for an economy to grow, there must be power to power the industries. Common sense tells us that for an economy to grow, for inflation rates to go down, there must be job creation. Common sense, and so blah, blah, blah. Well, the one is Oluyole reacting, I think he's an expert is now saying FG can only achieve single-digit inflation through data manipulation. That's Eze Onyekpere. And also reacting, the executive director of the Center for Social Justice, Barrister Eze Onyekpere, yes, dismissed the federal government's claim that Nigeria's inflation rate will soon drop to single digits, describing it as unrealistic unless statistical figures are deliberately manipulated. Yes, that is the expert. But calling members of the PDP experts, I don't understand how this one came about.
Well, one thing I deciphered from that report again is that I don't know why statistical figures are the things that our experts rely solely on to decide whether or not things are getting better. Nigeria is the only country where the economic experts do not care whether the impact of those statistical figures are being felt by the common people, or whether it is actually translating into a better life, better standard of living for the masses. As long as these statistics, these curious statistics that I have never been able to understand, as long as they say whatever, the experts will tell you that everything is okay and that nothing is wrong with Nigeria. This is why these ones are saying that unless statistical figures are manipulated. So if the figures are not manipulated, let's assume they are not manipulated and they come out as the actual figures reflecting what is actually happening. But at the same time, the masses of this country are still groaning under the ills of extreme poverty, and we still be the world's poverty capital. Yes, you will say that as the figures say we are okay, so we are okay. That is that for the experts. And as for the possibility that they may want to deceive Nigerians, the powers that be, the current government wants to deceive Nigerians ahead of the next general elections. Well, Nigerians can no longer be deceived by figures. They can no longer be deceived by promises and pledges, because those making those promises and pledges are already known. They have a penchant for breaking promises, for breaking the hearts of Nigerians. So, of course, the only thing that would woo Nigerians now, that will sway Nigerians to vote in a particular direction, is if things actually do get better. And I keep saying it, Nigerians are more discerning now.
Yes.
You can no longer fool them with promises. So that one is hogwash, that they are trying to deceive Nigerians ahead of the next general elections. No, it is not promises that will sway Nigerians now, but it is food on their table.
Yes.
And then the more that we see that we are actually pulling out of being the world's poverty capital. And we say inflation is swaying to is coming down to single digits.
Single digit. How many Nigerians understand the meaning of single digit?
Well, what they are trying to say here is that soon we'll have virtually no inflation. That's what they are trying to say. But then we must be feeling the effect that you are actually coming down to single digit inflation.
Yes. Yesterday we went to the market. Example, they said prices of rice have come down depending on the type of rice you want to buy. Yes, we found out it dropped at least to a level, but that is on the wholesale side. Go to the retailers. It is that same price that they have been selling, that exorbitant price they have been selling, apart from the fact that prices of rice have come down a bit. A bag of rice, they are still selling, saying they had bought their bag before the prices of rice, bags of rice came down, that they will sell, they make sure they finish selling at that same price. A Congo of rice, they will keep selling until that bag finishes, until they go and purchase another bag, which is has come down now. That is the excuse they gave some of the sellers, traders yesterday.
So are they going to be giving us a timeline as to when those particular bags are supposed to be exhausted and they'll start selling at the new reduced price?
Yes,
that's just the problem. Well, you cannot blame them. They cannot sell at a loss.
Yes, I understand.
But then, how do we know when that particular bag of rice is exhausted? And again, the reduction in price that you spoke about, the reduction in bulk price, is it going to be sustained? Is it going to keep coming down?
Yes,
or is it a matter of fluctuating, going up, coming down, going up, coming down?
Yeah, I think we said something about that yesterday or 2 days ago. Yes, But well, let's hope. But I'm thinking, all those ones, there are always risks in any business. They should sell Congo's retail, at the supposed price. That person, that businessman, that retailer, you just know that yes, this might be, part of the risks that you have to. What if God will not allow that to happen? What if fire raises the store?
Fire has not raised the store now. When they are business people, when they buy from them, I expect them to sell at a loss.
That is why I said, what if fire raises the store? I don't pray that such thing will happen, but they should also be considerate. And what if people decide not to, if they see that, okay, this one is 200 naira, and you are selling that 300 naira or 400 naira, I would prefer to go and buy 200 and let the retailer, let him or her keep our rice and let the rice spoil or expire.
Well, in this particular situation, I think the government could do two things if it is possible. Well, of course, when it comes to things that concerns the masses, the government will always identify the impossibilities. But then, what I'm saying here is that perhaps if the government could meet with the traders who still have so much of this old rice, as they claim, that they bought at the exorbitant price and they have to sell at a higher price. So if the government could just meet with them and discuss with them a kind of subsidize them so that they will sell at a lower price, or the alternative, if the government can just flood the markets with this new rice that is costing less, such that in the eventuality the traders who still have the old rice will be forced to bring down prices when we have more of the cheaper rice available, and then there should be a way of monitoring to ensure that cheaper rice is not being sold to the public at a higher cost. So these are things that I feel that can be done, but I'll try to telling them to make those sacrifices for Nigerians, for Nigeria. I mean, those traders. I don't think many Nigerians would want to do that, so especially if you are doing business.
Well, you might be correct. Now, still talking agric. Now, the federal government on Tuesday rolled out a slew of new incentives to attract agricultural investment, which it said could create 21 million jobs in the country. And it also pledged reforms to expand irrigation, improve access to credit, and create millions of rural jobs under President Bola Tinubu's economic agenda. And this was disclosed by Vice President Kashim Shettima, who outlined the plans at the Food and Agriculture Organization's National and Sub-Regional and Investment Forum in Abuja, calling hunger the great equalizer that reveals our vulnerabilities and the shared fragility of our existence. Let's hope they can achieve this.
Yeah. And this is alarming. Lassa fever, and we have to be worried about this. Because in recent weeks, there have been increasing reports of increasing cases and deaths from Lassa fever
yes.
In parts of the country. Upsurge in Lassa fever cases as deaths 8162 in August. That's coming from the NCDC, National Center for Disease Prevention and Control. And it says the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has reported a rise in confirmed Lassa fever cases, with 162 deaths recorded across 21 states as of epidemiological week 35, spanning August 25 to 31. The NCDC, via its official website on Tuesday, reported 10 new confirmed cases in week 35 alone, up from 3 in the previous week.
Right.
Well, I think rodents are mostly the culprits responsible for the vectors of the Lassa fever disease.
And you can remember that sometimes last week the authorities reported a resurgence of the Ebola disease when the customs said they would, caution and restrict entrance into the country to prevent somebody from somewhere entering the country and infecting other people with this disease, like it happened the other time.
I know, talking about rodents, rats especially being the major vectors of Lassa fever. You know, I was thinking about this theory that someone spoke about regarding the control of the environment and the environmental issues and disease control. Well, I read it. That person said that that we were like the Igbos do, that we should be more prudent when we handle reptiles like snakes,
yes,
and all these venomous snakes. He said because they are actually of benefit to us as humans, and I was shocked that, oh, how do you mean? He said because they are the ones that kill the rodents for food. So the more we kill them when we find them, the more we kill them, the more we allow the rodent population to continue to grow. So they become more and more of a problem to us. So it's maybe like the Oyibos, maybe next time you find a snake in your backyard, or even worse still, right inside your house, maybe you should try to just apprehend the snake, restrain the snake, and then take it back to its natural habitat where it came from. It's the way we see in those wildlife but then the Oyibos, they always have somebody they will call. There are people responsible that are being paid by the government responsible for this kind of thing. So just people call through to them and they are in your house to take the snake away to where it should be, because it shouldn't be in your backyard in the first place.
Yes, I remembered the time when I was much more younger. My late pop, Professor Akambi, he will always say he was an agronomist and entomologist. He will always say any snake that was inside the compound, because we had a couple of trees and flowers and all those. Say any snake that you find, do not harm them, do not kill them. They have a purpose.
Oh, but they could harm you.
They could harm you. If you try to attack them, they will turn back on you. Yes.
What if they are somewhere and you don't know they are there, and then of course you put your foot in the wrong place?
No, I used my head. I used my head to bang a snake's head, a snake's tail. Yes, I wanted to drive into the compound. The snake was. I thought it was an electric wire. So I was now thinking,
okay, it was the tail. What if it had been the head that you used your head to bang? You know what the snake would have done? Well, that's just by the way. Just recalling that well, if we have a better system actually of environmental control and environmental regulations, maybe we'll just be like those advanced countries too. Then maybe we'd have a better way, a natural way of controlling Lassa fever.
Yes. Now, to Rivers State now. Tomorrow is the D-Day. Yes. Ibas asks residents to nurture peace already built. That is talking about the hopes mixed views as emergency ends tomorrow. Elders sue for unity. Fubara returning as a conquered man.
Bowed, not just conquered, bowed and conquered.
Conquered, yes. He's now a good boy.
Good boy.
And 1 day to the end of emergency rule in Rivers State, the polity is awash with expectations. Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Professor Ngozi Udu, and members of the State House of Assembly, led by Speaker Martins Amaiwule, are expected to return to their seats tomorrow if President Bola Tinubu, who caught his 10-day vacation abroad to return to Nigeria yesterday, did not extend the rule. So far, all appears set for termination of emergency rule and reinstatement of elected officials. Well,
the presidency is still not saying anything.
And I smell something here. Yes, I smell something here.
Aside from what people are expecting.
Yes, I smell something here.
Well, let's wait and see. Petrol from Dangote Refinery arrives USA for first time. That's according to a report. Barely 1 year after it commenced production, petrol from Nigeria's Dangote Refinery has arrived the USA for the first time in history. Now, global oil trader, Vital and North American Ford distributor Sunoco received the first U.S. shipment of petrol gasoline from Nigeria's new Dangote refinery on Monday, according to vessel tracking data and 2 sources with knowledge of the delivery. And this was the same petrol that NNPC was saying at the time that it was substandard.
Yes.
You remember that?
That's yes. Now, this one is talking about education, the education sector. The National Board for Technical Education has vowed to sustain its crackdown on mushroom institutions parading as polytechnics. Yes, which we always see.
And there are many of them.
Many of them, so many of them. And this comes as the board announced a landmark collaboration with MOC LLC, a United States-based research and training body, to introduce applied interdisciplinary engineering and technology research into Nigerian polytechnics. And this, it said, will bring fresh initiatives to transform the sector into a hub of innovation, research, and job creation. Well, I think it was during an accreditation visit to Avade College of Science, Business and Management Studies in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The NBT Director of Polytechnic and Allied Programs, Dr. Fatima Kabea Umar, said the agency will not relent in its fight against unaccredited entities, undermining the government's commitment to quality education. Yes, those we see them about. They are about. They want to quickly make big money through the ignorance of the would-be students of the polytechnics, those unaccredited polytechnics.
Well, there are quite a number of students, parents, and guardians actually know that these are mushroom institutions, but out of desperation, then many of the students could actually be brilliant students that have been frustrated by the system, especially by JAMB.
JAMB, yes.
So out of desperation, DSS finally slams cybercrime charges against Showore, others over anti-Tinubu post. And Oyo Assembly cautions members over undue advantage, passes a vote of confidence in Makide's administration. So the fight that was being expected yesterday in some quarter never happened.
It never happened.
We said it, Bimbo.
Yes.
And we said the State House for Assembly has cautioned its members against leveraging on the legislative institution to curry favor from their constituents or the general public. I think this is firing shots in a particular direction. And this is as its members pass the vote of confidence on Governor Seyi Makide's administration for the development strides in all the sectors of the economy. And I'm presiding over the plenary after a 6-week recess on Tuesday. The Speaker, Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, said the Assembly will not tolerate any act that is inimical to the legislative business of the House. Well, he didn't say what those particular acts were, and that could be inimical. And then it says if the members are trying to gain sympathy from the public, constituents party hierarchy, or wherever they think they can gain sympathy from using the Assembly, I put it to you today, scrap the plan. It is better for you to go back to your constituency, listen to your people, know where they should pinches them, come here, move in motion, enter offices, summon commissioners, discuss with the governor at appropriate time, and push for the project of your constituency. So like I said, maybe perhaps shots fired. Well, I don't know in a particular direction. I don't know the direction
but
that these shots have been fired.
It has been fired in one direction. Now I want to have this story that is interesting to me. Nigerian professors earn gardeners 3-hour pay. That is according to ex-Obafemi Awolowo University Vice Chancellor, Professor Wande Abimbola.
Gardeners in which part of the world?
Yes, that's what I want to just check out now. Former Vice Chancellor of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Professor Wande Abimbola, slammed the federal government for the poor remuneration of university lecturers, saying without any significant improvement in the university system, it faces imminent collapse. And Abimbola, who is now based in the United States, also took a swipe at the poor salaries of lecturers, saying that what a professor earns monthly is just about what a gardener earns in 3 hours in the United States.
Okay. The value of their currency now.
Yes.
But I shouldn't make an issue out of that
one, yes.
Right, let's open the phone lines. We have our first caller here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tola, Mr. Bimbo.
Good morning, Mr. John.
Good morning, sir. John calling from Oluyole. Dogara, very, very, very unfortunate that statement that Buhari destroyed the economy is coming from a man like Dogara. You know, that is true. Because I remember Governor of Benue State, or what is it called, said clearly that Buhari administration is printing money to pay salaries. This same Dogara in an event replied autumn that he should face the killing going on in his state and not to dangle into what the federal government is doing. That he should face the killing going on in his state. That same Dogara coming out now, hypocrisy of the highest level. You see, perhaps he's looking for an appointment. That is how I see it. Concerning the issue of Lassa fever, Mr. Tola, Mr. Seun, if Lassa fever is killing hundreds, I can tell you hunger is killing thousands. I am not saying we should not take care of our health sector. We are betraying it. Like you correctly said, snake is much more beneficiary to us than killing it. Like I do, I don't keep snake. Because if you do that, you will have your produce, you will have lesser produce in your farm. When all these mouse ravage your farm, you will know the importance of snake. Not at home alone. When you wipe out snake, you will have no product to bring home from farm. That is the truth. But our people are not educated to that level. It's kill and chop. And if you have find a snake in your home, do you have a phone number you can call? Do you have an expert that is settled with that responsibility to take the snake out? Systemic thing. So you rather throw away or you kill and chop. We need to be educated. Snake is so important, not only at home, but even in our farm. Enjoy your dinner. Good morning.
Oh, Mr. John.
Thank you very much.
I don't like snakes, but I hate them with a deadly passion. Also, maybe I'm one of those ignorant people Mr. John is talking about. Snakes kill.
Well, that is your own opinion. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
And I think is calling you from Ikoki.
Good to have you, sir.
Okay. According to your statement here, so you said that rice is now low in price. What of an incident? Call is cost and Japan. Hello?
We are with you.
Are you?
We are with you, sir.
Okay. And Bonvita also is very cost. What shall we do?
All right. Well, from your voice, if I'm to place your age, sir, I don't think you should still be taking chocolates. Maybe just a little, but maybe you should be taking much of it. It seems you're a fan of chocolates.
Hello, good morning.
Good to have you.
That is why the chocolate again. It's like us. Like chocolate. Okay. On the ground, the former President Buhari, everybody knows that the administration of President Buhari was a failure, the mountain of failure. Everybody knows that. So people should not be reminding us of the past. I don't say the president. That administration was just an unfortunate one. Then, on the issue of Papa, which Miller, yes, I love his analysis and I love his comparison. One thing is, when federal government want to compare fair prices and some economic topic, they compare us with Finland, France, and US. That's what they do. This is what they sell this particular product in Finland and in this place. This is what we are selling it here. So let us be comparing our salaries to and other things, benefits. So we know how ineffective they are doing that. So that is what the federal government is. So I think it's right too in that regard. Then on the issue of Sowore and DSS should focus on more important issues, arresting of bandits and terrorists. They looked at has been there, they could not even lay their hands on it. So they said maybe they think this type of case is more severe than what they can handle. They will be possessed. In fact, no one among us saw what the treat of Sowore. Because until DSS now make it public so that everybody can see that Sowore said it. Nobody noticed except his trouble and all that. But later when DSS now make it magnify and everybody saw it that this is what Sowore said. They are just giving the guy popularity. So this Sowore face the bigger picture. The way just the noisemaker that we just see it online and gather some people who have been narrating it for ages. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Maybe they need to secure an assurance from Mr. Sowore that it's not going to be a problem in 2027 as we approach 2027.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Alaji Ayinabugu, calling from Alato.
Good to have you, Alaji.
I heard that Oba Ladijai has promised that the president will be at Ibadan in the installation. That's the good news. If I were supposed to be there, or if I'm fortunate to be there, I will tell Mr. President many things. I will tell him that his concerted effort is acknowledged and applauded, that he should do more, especially to the common people in the streets. Now, this proliferation of, let me say, taxes, we have the BVN, we have NI, then they are now proposing TIN. All these things just sort of, it's not understandable to the common man, especially in the rural area. So when we reckon with the BVN, then we reckon with the NI, then TIN will be for a decent farmer, for a market woman. All these things I think is proliferation of taxes. Now, we should do something to alleviate this many efforts, many these problems. So we consider those in the area where there's no internet, where there's no other measures that can be taken. So I think we should review all these things. Thank you. I like to go from my letter.
All right, thank you. Well, actually, Obaladoja and President Tinubu, they actually go back a long way from the Nadeko days, and you also remember that President Tinubu stood firmly by him during his travels with the late Chief Lamidi Adedibu that protected struggle with the Chief Lamidi Adedibu.
Yes, the strong man of Ibadan politics then. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Alaji Lanka from Ujubu.
Good to have you, Alaji.
Okay. The other time you are trying to recollect the senator that was suspended. Senator Ali Dume, who's the relief of his principal.
Yes, Senator Ali Dume.
Yes.
But Senator Abdullingi was suspended the other time.
Yes,
he was suspended for exposing code, the Senate of the public. On the inflation trend in the country, the rate is 2 digits, and that one is very bad. 2 digits is bad for any economy. If the government is not paying this service, it can be reduced drastically if adequate measures are taken. They can allow for importation of essential commodity, encourage local production. The capital they can be given to refined industry. They can also reduce interest rates to allow real farmers access to funds. If there are experts in government, if the government is sincere, they want it to happen. If we want to relieve the suffering masses. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Also, 55551985. That's the one or two more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Alex Ore.
It's having Mr. Mwelem.
On the Ghana matter. I'm surprised at the Ghana. One of the diseases. And all of them are operating well. They're doing well. Including the president now, Turubu. The president says doing well. Now they come now, they don't do it again. Shame on them. Economic say, where we can get today. To the extent more. What they are change you? What if I say change you, not change you? They are not change at all. They are all deceivers. On DSS, they should leave the way alone. The one that they say to go to do well, they do that. You not to forget weather. People go what? But what are you talking? What is happening? People know what is happening, but we should not do it alone. Thank you much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, 08255009850. Our last caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Adepa Dulapo speaking from Taki Ogbo.
Good to have you, sir. Been a while.
Now we are talking about the sharp drop in the commodities in the market. Yes, it's good that way. But the people that are making food for us, the food vendors, they are not bringing anything down. The same size of fufu of 200 and about 200, it's still the same. There is no improvement. The farmers are suffering. All the what the insecticide they have bought to make the product come out, they are not getting anything on it. Here in the case, we are experiencing supply, food supply. But the food vendors, they are not reducing anything. Talk to them, let them reduce what they are buying, what they are selling to us. Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Well, check your time, it's 7:30 and we have to go. Been an interesting time on conversation this morning, and we will be back at same time tomorrow morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akambi. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your day.
But it's strong, my mouth is fresh. It clean well, oh, now R.I.P. Strong teeth R.I.P. Fresh bread R.I.P. 24/7 with R.I.P. Strong teeth R.I.P.
Give on our teeth 24 hours protection. Use Orabi today. The Nigerian Dental Association. Tada Gidigba with Orabi.
Gbogbo ènìyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló mọ rírì ètò ìṣèjọba omi tuntun lábẹ́ ìṣàkóso ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà Olúṣèyí Abíọ́dún Mákindé, pàápàá lẹ́ka ètò ìlera tó péjú owó pẹ̀lú ìbámu ọmọdé aláboyún àtàwọn ìyálọ́mọ tí wà lálàáfíà ní ìtẹ̀síwájú àgbéyé àti àwòye àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀bí oúnjẹ fọ́mọ tuntun jòjòló lómi ọyàn ìyá rẹ̀ fóṣù mẹ́fà àkọ́kọ́ ní kété ìbímọ láàrin wákàtí kan ìgbẹ̀bí ọmọ rẹ̀ nílé ìwòsàn gbọ́mọ tuntun jòjòló sọ́yàn fún ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjígbégbé ọpọlọ okun àti agbára lẹ́yìn eléyìí fọmọ rẹ̀ lọ́yàn pọ́nbélé láì fi omi àgbo tàbí oúnjẹ kankan sí àfikún bó ti wulẹ̀ kó mọ fóṣù mẹ́fà gbáko. àǹfààní eléyìí lọmọ tuntun jòjòló yóò fi wà ní ìlera tó jí pépé. ọmọ tuntun tó mọ yàyà rẹ̀ fóṣù mẹ́fà lọ́pọlọ rẹ̀ máa ń dàgbà. ìdènà àwọn àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn ìgbàláyà àwọn èròjà aṣaralóore àti afáralókun fi yàtọ̀ láàrin àwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀. ìyálọ́mọ tó ń pèsè ọjọ́ iwájú rere fọmọ rẹ̀ ní sàmúlò ìlànà gbígbọ́mọ sọ́yàn fóṣù mẹ́fà àkọ́kọ́ kọ́mọ lè dàwòye. ìkéde ìlú wa látọ̀dọ̀ ikọ̀ àárín àti iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀